Hi, everybody. It's Richard Silver from the Silver Burtnick team at Sotheby's International Realty Canada. And I have two great guests here with me. I have Brennan Buckley, who is our guru at Realm, and we're going to talk about Realm in a minute. And I have Molly Davidson, who is our writer extraordinaire for the Torontoism website, and she works with Artifact, which is a company in Toronto based, and they help you with everything to do with website marketing. So let me just hand it over to you, Molly. And I think you have some questions you want to ask of Brennan, and then we can talk a little bit. There's a front end and a back end to Realm, which I think is really interesting. So Brennan, let's talk about the front end first.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. So Realm really started as a few years ago as an idea from our founder and CEO, a woman named Julie Foppel. She's in Jackson Hole. She got together with these kind of League of Legend real estate owners, and they came up with the challenge to solve, which is that luxury real estate is being done in these silos. So you're with the silo of a brand, or you're in the silo of a marketplace. But there's never been anything invented that just pulls all the walls down and gets top agents working together. And ultimately, that's what Realm has become. We're a brand agnostic membership of elite agents. You can be from any market and be in Realm. You can be from any company and be in Realm. However, and this is the big however, it takes an invitation to get in. Almost all of our members are now being recommended in by existing members, and that means you're in. It's a little like Soho House in that respect. But for people that reach out, and we have that happen all day long, we do background checks, we vet them, we talk to other people in the market. We're really trying to build a collection of the most accomplished real estate professionals that's ever been assembled.
Well, we have meetings every Wednesday afternoon about 4 o'clock, and I got to tell you, they're really enlightening. I've learned a lot about wineries in different locations, farms, housing. We had a wonderful the chap who spoke the other day about the ranches that were selling
Right.
for hundreds of millions of dollars, and I'm sitting there and thinking, you know what? Take me out for dinner at least.
Well, it's interesting because we'll talk about the back end or the technology piece of Realm, and we're getting a lot of our attention for that. But, Realm in technology is really nothing more than a driver of human interaction. And the community of Realm, these calls, the interactions, the friendships, that's really the driver. That's what people are kind of coalescing around. And yes, we do have some idea sharing on these calls among, arguably the biggest agents in North America. And it's really fascinating. And it's been exceptionally fascinating during COVID. We did our first Realm call the first week that COVID really hit hard in early March. And we've only taken one Wednesday off, and that was Christmas Day. We've not missed a single Wednesday. And so sharing is important. Sharing during COVID has been really almost a lifeline.
Huge. So today it's North America, tomorrow the world.
Yeah, we, our technology is enabled to really go anywhere, and of course that's what we're all striving for. Realm is borderless, it's brandless, and it's marketless, meaning it transcends all of that. We just literally are a community of agents who have properties and who have clients that can interact with each other. And so as we, moving to Europe, of course, has some of the things related to data and GDPR and all those good things that we're sorting out. But the demand is certainly there. And when it's appropriate, we'll jump across the pond, and then we'll jump across the other pond and go into Asia.
Yeah. So tell me about the front-facing part of Realm. In other words, what does the public see? They see that I'm a member of Realm, that I can introduce them to people around North America. There's a website. Do you want to talk about just the front end of that website?
Of course. Richard, would you like me to share my screen and show it?
Sure. Let me just open up the sharing there.
Okay.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So really, the majority of Realm is meant for agents. It's an agent to agent community. However, there's a benefit, we think, to the agents who are our members and to their customers to know about this ecosystem. So we created this website, realm-global.com. And as you see right on the front, it's kind of our rallying cry. And throughout the website, we'll talk about why we think Realm's important philosophically, really more than anything, that we just are driving connection, driving interaction. And then there are sections of the website that you can, learn about, scroll through, all that good stuff. A couple of things to point out, and Richard, you touched on this. We're so proud of our community. And so,
Right.
as you scroll through, these are the biggest, literally the biggest agents in North America. We have a developments group in Realm. So we're now having developers that have heard about Realm. We've brought in, for example, the entire Waldorf Astoria in New York City,
Right.
or Silver Sands in Granada, and things along those lines. We're exceptionally proud of our press. We're a little company that's just getting started, and we've caught the attention of some of the biggies and have had just a lot of really fun things that they've shared about Realm as well. So it does have a front-facing aspect of it, really just to learn more about the concept. The majority of the technology, the majority of the interaction is taking place agent to agent.
So tell me, a lot of this is based on WealthX. Tell me about WealthX. Because I do know about it, I love the idea, but I don't think a lot of people do know that it's out there.
Well, yeah, of course. WealthX is a company out of New York. Actually, they've just been purchased by a UK company called BoardX, and they gather data on the wealthiest people in the world. Right. And WealthX is an exceptional data source, and the amount and the depth of information that they can pull together is actually jaw-dropping. It's all publicly available information, and WealthX is one of Realm's data sources. We combine that with several other data sources to give our members, who in your case, Richard, are agents, more of a perspective of the people that they work with. Now, eventually, and we'll get into this, taking the data is amazing and there's a lot of it, but we need to make it simple and we need to make it actionable. So Realm will take all this information, create a lifestyle profile for each of the clients, and then match those through AI against properties that are for sale
I think one of the things that I find as an agent is I'll get a connection and I don't know how valid that connection is. They'll be inquiring about a property that we have listed for a lot of money, and then do I go down the road to have a discussion with these people if I don't know if they can afford it, if they're, somebody living in a retirement home who has issues and, just wants to spend time. But it allows me to validate and also to get in touch with people who know that these people who might be making the inquiries. So it gives me a lot more confidence in who I'm dealing with. But do you want to maybe... Molly, do you have any questions there that you want to add, or are we hitting all the hot spots?
You're definitely hitting on lots of stuff that I kind of jotted down that I was curious about. I guess one thing I wonder is, this is kind of a broad question, but what do you find is the main benefit of using AI to do that, as opposed to, people doing it? Is it just the fact that you're working with so much data?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good question. We believe, I should back up and say every single person that's involved in Realm, from our founder to me to all of our members, we're all licensed real estate agents or brokers or whatever the designation is. And we all know and believe and always will believe that people, that agents, that trusted advisors are always at the middle of that conversation. And we believe always will be. Where AI comes in is with the massive amounts of data, as you say. There's just so much information that's happening out there. And, an agent is accomplished and busy as Richard, has a lot of demands on his day and being efficient. And so what we try to do is help make the kind of the aggregation, the interpretation of that data as efficient as possible, and also then take it the next step and help connect Richard with other trusted advisors in the space that may have a connection to the data that we're aggregating. So AI and algorithm intelligence and all those buzzwords that are out there, to us, they're nothing but a means to an end. And the means to an end is two agents face to face or Zoom to Zoom working together.
Mask to mask.
Mask to mask, absolutely.
Brennan, take us a little bit through the back end to show us and all the people watching basically what it is that I see if I'm doing a search, or say Julie, if you want to use Julie, she
Sure.
has she's farther along in the realm process than I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll hit the highlights now. Richard, just a note. Where there's a couple there, we'll stop short of sharing some client names, but I think we can definitely hit the highlights. So let me go back to sharing my screen. Oh, you're going to see when I hit my screen share that the last website I was on. This is a great example, by the way, of what you were talking about. You've got this amazing property. You're going to get inquiries from all over, Toronto, Canada, and the world. Who do you spend your time talking to about this? Who's qualified? Who are the right fits? Realm helps you sift through those folks so that you're being efficient with who you're sharing it to.
It's funny. We always call this the Russian oligarch, because he is Russian and he is, I guess, an oligarch. He's getting into retirement times right now. He's aging, and this is a huge property that we have for sale now, and as you can see, it's in a brand new building, but it is quite stuck in a feeling. I mean, half the things that are in that building could never be duplicated now.
No.
The floor, all of that. But most people are probably going to tear everything out and start again. So that's sadly what's going to happen. But it's finding the right person. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's hop over to Realm. This is the back end. This is what agents will experience. And I should mention our founder and CEO, Julie, she's an accomplished agent herself. She and her husband, Matt, have a team that's just got ranked 30th in America. And that's important because this isn't a demo or a kind of a dummy account. It's live. This is exactly what Realm looks like. And I'll hit the highlights very quickly. There's two real sides to Realm. One are the clients and prospects that somebody works with, and then the other are the properties that are in Realm. Right now, we've got 420-ish members who have brought in almost 1,800 properties and nearly 200,000 clients. And so when we invite somebody to join Realm, we have them bring their clients, upload their clients into the system. It's all encrypted. The agent is the only one that will ever see the names of their clients, and all that data is fiercely, fiercely protected. And we sign documents with our members to verify that. And so when Julie comes in and she looks at her clients, we put them all together in one place. And I'm going to scroll quickly so we don't see names, but the idea then is that when we bring the clients in and we ingest their information, then we create a lifestyle profile of each client that will tell us and tell the agent what they're into. And there's about 270 lifestyle affinities, ranging from they might like a property with a boat dock to a helipad, to a certain geography in North America, to a certain style of architecture. So we take all of this massive amount of data, and then we immediately translate that into a lifestyle profile for the person. Now, while that's all happening, we bring in the properties in Realm, and that's where the magic happens. And that I can show. So in this particular case, these are all live listings. We bring Julie's properties into Realm, and we read them, and we develop a lifestyle profile of the property, just like we did the 200,000 people. And then we look for matches. So Julie's got this gorgeous listing outside of Jackson Hole. There's a whole bunch of people that match based on the lifestyle profile of the property. And we first look at Julie's clients and we rank them and say, Julie, of your clients, these are the best lifestyle fits. By the way, we believe in Realm that the definition of luxury is lifestyle. It's no longer about the badge or the brand or money even. It is experience and lifestyle. So you're going to hear that term a lot. Anyway, we look for matches within Julie's own database, But this is where Realm gets fun. And we think this is what's going to forever put an imprint on the luxury real estate world. We then go out and we read the databases of all the other agents that are joining Realm, and we look for matches. So, Pollyanna, for example, is the #1 agent in Montana. Charlie is an icon in New York City. Chrissy's with Sotheby's.
A friend of mine in New York. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Well, what I've found, Richard, is not just within the Sotheby's world, within the real estate world, you are as well known, connected, and respected as probably anybody we've ever come across. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on your blog. It is 100% true. Yeah. And so, here's another example. Becky, who you probably would know in Dallas, she's got a client that's a perfect match for Julie's property. Now, Julie can't see who that client is, of course, but she can see that Becky has one, so she can pick up the phone and give her a call. And now we've created a connection between two agents in two different markets with two different brands who've never met each other. Now they're connected and they can potentially do a deal on this property or maybe on future properties. And that, in essence, is what Realm's trying to do. We are literally here to connect real estate agents from around the country or North America and eventually around the world.
Yeah, it's a wonderful way for us to access the information, to find out who might be interested, and then to share it with them and say, you know what, do you have a client? Yeah, I think you have a client who might be interested in this. Let's talk, or let me send you the information. Let me send you the full information that you can forward to your client.
It's a conversation starter, absolutely. And at the level of Richard Silver and the other agents in Realm, once that conversation starts, their expertise takes over, and then the real matching happens. And so, to your earlier question about AI versus humans, this is just getting the conversation beginning. Now the experts jump in and they will pull something together. By the way, we also take all the data we have in Realm and all the data about the property, and we will make a general prediction based on age, gender, marital status, net worth of the top 20 most likely feeder markets for where that buyer is going to come from. So now when Richard's in conversation with his seller, he can do marketing on social media in these markets. He can do any number of things, but it really will help inform where that buyer's coming from. We're just at the beginning of this journey. As we grow, as we get more data in, this will get smarter and smarter.
That's wonderful. Molly, any questions? It's pretty amazing. Huh?
Yeah, I guess I can clearly sort of delineate based on everything you're showing me what some of the potential benefits would be for buyers and sellers. But I'm going to ask you to spell that out a little bit, just because I feel that probably a lot of the blog readers will be, of course, buyers and sellers. So in terms of obviously it's super helpful for agents, but then how does that, benefit their clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we really look at it as if agents are interacting and they're representing their buyers and sellers, and Realm is helping to make that more efficient, then that is in and of itself a benefit to the buyers and sellers. So in the case of the buyers, where Richard has, an amazing group of buyers that now he might know a little bit more information about, but also then they may or may not be in the market, but we are actively trying to find potential properties that they might be interested in. Right. So it really helps facilitate that service that Richard's providing to his buyers to find them their next place, whether it's in Toronto or whether it's somewhere warmer, and really facilitating that among really multiple markets and all the luxury markets that there are.
That's one of the biggest things that is, I find it actually stops us from doing as much work as we could, because we're perceived by the public as being the agent, say, in downtown Toronto. And right. We wouldn't know about properties that are, I'm learning a lot now about wineries, wineries in California, wineries in BC, wineries in different areas. And I can also, if somebody has that, even though they are living in downtown Toronto, if that's one of the things that they're really, really interested in, As a matter of fact, I have a client over in Rosedale who basically his next life, he's going to be a wine merchant. He's creating his own wineries in Canada, but I know he's the kind of person who will buy in Canada, he'll buy in California, he'll buy in different locations. So I think that allows me, and hopefully my clients, the more I talk about Realm, the more I talk about these different options that they might have, I think it's really good for my clients that they find out that I can also advise them in purchases out of the country or in other parts of, in other things they might be looking for. Maybe they want a big farm in Texas, or
Right.
Wyoming, or, it allows me to be able to put them in touch with people that I know are the best in the area as well, which is really important.
Yeah, that's well said, Richard. On the seller side, it really becomes a notion of the profile, the marketing profile will help, of course, inform several things about how to market that property outside of Realm. But within Realm, it's really getting that property exposed to the biggest real estate agents in North America that otherwise would never have put eyes on it. So, for example, Mauricio Umansky, who is, a big agent in LA, along with several others that we have there. When they go into Realm, they may see that one of their clients is a perfect match for one of Richard's listings in Toronto. More likely, Richard is going to see those connections with New York City agents or Boston agents or Chicago agents or so on and so forth. So for the seller, it gives them exposure for that property on a very curated way, not to the buyers, because that's not efficient, but to the trusted advisors of the buyers. That is efficient. And that's kind of where those benefits come in for the buyers and sellers. It's a great question, Molly.
Yeah. And this is really, there are a lot of people, there's a lot of the population that I might deal with that would have multiple homes and multiple locations, multiple interests. And I may not even know about those interests until I do some of the research that's involved with, creating their profiles. And I may not know that they're into, I have a great friend. I'm totally surprised that he spends a lot of time in Scotland fly fishing. Maybe he wants to buy a property, Right?
Well, you need to call Alistair. Alistair can help with that.
Yeah, exactly. Or somebody who might want a farm, or
right.
It's or a ranch, really. I guess.
Yeah.
Farm. It's a ranch.
That brings me up to another quick thing I'll show. We're really excited by this, and this is newer and it's getting better and better. We have a relationship with Lux Magazine, which is a publisher of just really high-end design real estate, slightly fashion, but really more design and real estate. And we're bringing in more content partners. But Molly, you'll appreciate this as a marketer and a content expert. So we have a relationship with Lux where they are delivering their content to Realm. Lux is as high-end as high-end gets. They have never shared their content anywhere in the world and still haven't, except for in Realm. And so as we bring these articles in, we read the article and then we develop a lifestyle profile of the article itself. So I just clicked on, something about the St. Regis in Chicago. This is an actual Lux article. We truncate it, but the whole content for the article is here. We develop a lifestyle profile, and then I'm logged in as Julie. We tell Julie, hey, there's a bunch of people in your database that would love this article. Because again, remember, we have a lifestyle profile of all of her clients. So she can click a button and share this directly with them. Just check a box, type a note. And now you're sharing not just content like Lux, which is, again, this is the only place in the world you can get it. But you're sharing with them curated content. It is based on what we know they would like. So it's kind of, it sounds a little bit aspirational, but it's true. We've developed this lifestyle language in Realm. And right now it applies to people, it applies to property, it applies to agents, and it applies to content. But that's a language that we can begin to really have conversations around, or it can have the conversation around any number of things. We have a full patent for this technology. And the patent has now been extended to include all luxury goods and services. So eventually, as we continue to build out real estate, then we'll move to jets, right? And yachts and art and private office and all these things that just are kind of natural fits for a kind of a wealth and a data ecosystem. Real estate is our hearts, and we're the co-founders, so it'll always be at the middle of it. But we are getting a lot of interest from these ancillary businesses that and big companies that want to be part of this.
Yeah,
So
my
we're
sense
excited.
is probably before we get to art, etc., we're going to do wine or something like that.
There's a lot of wine drinkers in Realm. Yes, I think you're right.
But there's also a lot of people. I mean, wine is a huge business. I mean, I've been to China where, I've been to the Sotheby's auction in China. It's seen bottles of wine sell for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and not even the case, just one bottle. It's
well, and it's, those are, wine and art. Well, actually, all of them, they all have a tie into real estate, because if you've got a wine connoisseur as a client, yes, we can plug into the Realm wine silo or whatever we decide to call it. But then you're also informed that there may be properties that have wine cellars that are, and same thing with art. You might have, you can plug into the Realm art side of things, which of course is a natural fit for a brand as established in art as Sotheby's. And now you're also knowing, okay, as we're looking for property, we need places for this art. And so it just all can very much tie together, in real estate, as in a lot of things, is kind of at the middle of it all.
The man that owns the franchise that I work for, which is a master franchise across Canada, is the man who spent millions of dollars buying Nike shoes at auction. All of these original Nike shoes, like 100 pair, millions of dollars. And it hit the news and everything. I'm thinking, like, dirty running shoes?
I believe I did some research on Mr. Nadal, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and read that he was, I think the term I read was sneakerhead. But a sneakerhead is probably what you would call my 19-year-old son. Yeah. A collector is what you would call him, Mr. Nadal.
And they do. And you know what? And it's starting to, we've seen some resales in the past year of some of the things that he invested in buying. And I'm thinking, you know what? I thought he was crazy, but in the meantime, that's where the market is. So you never know.
This is a side note. You can edit this out if this is actually going to be recorded, but it's actually kind of interesting. There's a show on Netflix my wife and I are obsessed with. It's called Lupin. Lupin. And he's French and he's a gentleman thief, but he always is wearing really valuable Nike sneakers under his suits, under his everything. And you just kind of have to look for it, but you'll notice that there are all these collectible sneakers, and that's part of his whole deal.
Yeah, I actually somebody who used to work for us years ago as an assistant, that's what he did. He collected, he bought and sold. And that's how he made a lot of money, buying and selling collectible sneakers. It was, anyways, it's amazing. But we're talking about collectible houses. So,
That's right. That's right. Maybe there'll be a Realm sneaker section one day. Yeah.
I think, Julie, this gives us a pretty good, discussion as far as what Realm is. And did you have any other questions you think you want to ask? And then we'll, turn off the recorder and talk all sorts of other things.
I think we've covered a lot, actually. So I had a bunch of stuff written down, which you guys covered initially, and then I had a couple of questions as we went. But yeah, I think off the top of my head, I don't have anything else. So
okay. And we can also, if there's anything else, we can connect with Brennan. So Brennan, obviously this is something that is introduced, agents are introduced. So in other words, people watching this, they might want to contact me and I'll talk to you, or do you want us to put your name out there and your information?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, it'd be a thrill. And I would, my email address, which I'm sure can put in a link, is brennan@realm-global.com. Our website is realm-global.com, and you can learn about it and then reach out through there. But yeah, we're always looking for the right members, and we're not exclusionary at all. But as I think hopefully everybody understands, this community is built on collaboration and sharing, and those are really the ones that we're looking for. We're looking for people that believe in the culture of collaboration and the culture of sharing, and we're willing, obviously, to talk to the right ones. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's also, what I found is I've been learning so much, just, because you get very caught in knowing your marketplace, and, real estate is really, it changes. I mean, lakefront, mountain, farm, ranch, it's all different. And to be able to talk with the tops in the fields of each one of those is pretty amazing. It's pretty loads of good information.
There's a, it's so, I'm just like you. I'm always learning, and I'm pulling up something because I want to make sure I get it right. But, we have a lot of agents that work with celebrities, and sometimes you'll kind of get glimpses into some things. So we've got an agent that's got the home that The Godfather won, the Horsehead scene was filmed in, the producer's home for sale.
Yeah, yeah.
We've kind of got all these Tom Cruise's place in Telluride, now Seinfeld's place and Mr. Seinfeld's place in Telluride. But we just had an agent that listed Ben Affleck's home in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
Now, who would have guessed that, Ben Affleck would have a place in Savannah, Georgia, and it would be this amazing place. But it's just these little kind of nuggets that we're getting glimpses into the rest of the world, that it's fun, but it's also wildly informative.
Yeah, and there's also, there's always a new group coming up of young people who are, they've made their money and whatever, and whatever business. And there's a lot of people also who are now downsized. So there's always that churn back and forth. And it's always great to have the information. So I just want to say thanks, Brennan, and thanks, Molly. And I'm going to turn off the recording. And again, we'll, start talking about other personal items. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about other things in a few minutes. But I just want to say again, thank you very much. It's been great.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure.